Hi there, how's it going? Today we're going to talk a little bit about idioms related to communication. But what are idioms first? Idioms are combinations of words that, when separate, they don't have the same meaning. When you put them together, they create a new meaning, usually a figurative meaning. For example, I got it straight from the horse's mouth. Obviously, nobody is getting anything from a horse's mouth. So, what's the meaning of this sentence here? Let's take a look. Jack was fired from the company. Really? How do you know? I know it's true because I got it straight from the horse's mouth. He told me when we met the other day. So, to get something straight from the horse's mouth means to get the information from a reliable source, someone or something which is directly involved in the situation. This other one is also interesting. Doesn't make any sense if you don't understand the figurative meaning of it. I heard on the grapevine that Stacy and Mark are leaving the company. So I heard on the grapevine. That means that you learned this information through a rumor or gossip. So you don't know whether or not this is true. That's why you say, I heard on the grapevine. Another one. He congratulated me on my promotion, but I think he must have gotten the wrong end of the stick when he saw my boss wishing me happy birthday. So my boss was wishing me happy birthday and he saw us. Then later he congratulated me on my promotion. So he thought that I had gotten a promotion. But that's not the truth. He was just wishing me happy birthday. So he got the wrong end of the stick. He misunderstood the situation. That's the meaning of get the wrong end of the stick. Now in this example we have two idioms. Take a look. We'll never reach an agreement if we keep talking at cross purposes. We've got to be on the same wavelength. So what does it mean? Be on the same wavelength is similar to be on the same page, which means when you agree with each other. So if you agree, if you have similar ideas, similar attitudes, or similar opinions, you are on the same wavelength. But when people are not on the same wavelength, they can keep talking and discussing, but they'll never reach an agreement because each person is going a different way. Each person is trying to convince the others of their opinions. So that's the meaning of talking at cross purposes. When we talk in a way that creates conflict, that creates opposition rather than an agreement. So we'll never reach an agreement if we keep talking at cross purposes. We've got to be on the same wavelength. So we've got to reach an agreement, a consensus. We've got to compromise. That's the idea. Now, if you keep talking to someone who has a different opinion of you or who does not accept your ideas, your suggestions, your advice, it's like talking to a brick wall. So talking to a wall is the same as talking to this person because it makes no difference. Make sure you put the boss in the picture about the status of the project. So to put someone in the picture means to involve someone, to include someone. In this case, the boss. So probably the boss doesn't know much about the project. We need to put him or her in the picture. So we need to tell him or her, we need to involve him or her in the status of the project so that he or she knows what's going on. This is the meaning of the idiom, put someone in the picture. Now, after you've put someone in the picture, you need to keep them informed and keep them involved in the situation. So that's the meaning of the idiom, keep someone in the loop. Let's look at this example. We've hired a new intern to help you, so be sure to keep her in the loop about the project. So you need to put her in the picture, involve her and inform her of the status of the project, and then keep her informed, keep her involved and aware of all the things happening about the project. That's the meaning of keep someone in the loop. So here we have two idioms again. Let's take a look. Stop beating about the bush and get straight to the point. What do you really want to say to me? So what does it mean? First, get straight to the point means to be direct, to be objective. What do you really want to say to me? So get straight to the point. Be direct, be objective. When someone is not direct or objective, usually because they are trying to talk about a difficult topic or an embarrassing topic, a sensitive topic, they keep beating about the bush. So they keep saying things and talking about things around the main topic, but they don't really say what they want to say. So that's why stop beating about the bush and get straight to the point. So stop trying to avoid the topic and just say what you want to say. That's the meaning. Well, sometimes the person is not beating about the bush. The person is not trying to avoid the topic, but the explanation is long, tedious, it's complex. But you can always try to put it in a nutshell. Try to summarize the information. Try to address only the key points, the most important points of the subject. So that's why put in a nutshell means to summarize. It's related to being direct and objective too, but in a different context. So the explanation is long and tedious, but I'll try to put it in a nutshell. And finally, the last idiom today. The visuals were awesome, but I couldn't make head nor tail of the damn film. So what does it mean? It means I couldn't understand the film very well. The visuals were awesome. I really liked them, but the story, the concepts, the idea, I couldn't understand at all. So this is the meaning of not make head nor tail of something. So if you have any problems, questions, if you couldn't make head nor tail of these idioms, leave a comment and let's talk. Bye bye.